Huh? It's the Kuroko no Basket episode 24 of season 2. Well, and things are not going too good for Serin. Not only Kagami tries to be a point guard, however, Himuro in his anger just plays more aggressively, and he more and more talks to himself on how much he hates Kagami trying to stop everyone because he thinks that means he's looking down on them or looking down on him. It's almost like he do not like a certain kind of arrogance or whatever. But Kagami is not arrogant, he is trying to do it, but he can't do anything. Elsewhere, Kiyoshi gets a very powerful massage by Riko in order to gain some more strength for the last minutes. And uh, we will see if it works. Anyway, it didn't calls for timeout after a while because Kagami is desperately trying to fight his hardest and still wishing to get into the zone. Aomine criticizes him for that in his mind. However, Kise, who appears near the court, actually openly criticizes him, saying that he is disappointed in him and is not a rival as he thought he was. With that, Kagami snaps, and after the timeout is out, they play again. And Kagami begins to play so much better and injecting so much pressure that he even can block a dunk. Well, not the full force hammer dunk, but a dunk from Murasakibara. Kagami has entered the zone again, and he is showing to be an awesome god. Almost. He not only blocks Himuru's Mirage shot by jumping so high that it's almost floating, he even blocks Murasakibara's full power Thor hammer by jumping straight up, adding more power to the power that the zone already gives him. And not only does he smack away the ball, the force of the power is so big that when Murasakibara lands, he trips. Yeah, the Goliath, the giant, the one who has always pushes everyone around him, falls. And Kagame, being a badass, says, "I'm sorry, I used too much strength." You tell him, Kagami. You tell them. And he even can shoot 3-pointers. And Himuro, well, he begins to look more and more sad. He even also begins to think about something he thought about once upon a time. Yosen then calls for timeout, and Murasakibara has enough. He no longer wants to play because he's being dominated like this. However, it's not the captain nor the coach or nor other who snaps at Murasakibara. It's Himuro. Because here is the part. Himuro has always been acting prideful and always been talking down on Kagami and always been trying to defeat him like he can. The reason for that is because he's jealous of Kagami, because Kagami is a prodigy, the one who is closest to the abilities of the Generation of Miracles. Himuro is good, many generations can admit that, but he's not a prodigy. He's not a Generation of Miracles. He cannot reach Kagami's stage, and he cannot stand the fact that despite being the one who introduced Kagami to the sport and being the one that played basketball longer, he is not gifted. And he cannot enter the zone either, because entering the zone means staking your life on the game, loving basketball to the way of your heart, and also having, of course, being a huge prodigy. People think Murasakibara can enter it, but since he do not like this basketball, he cannot enter it. And Himuro, who desperately for some reason wants to be that power that Murasakibara happens, just snaps, and he even cries a little bit, saying that he hates when someone wastes talent that he wants to have. And this actually moves Murasakibara in his own Tsunade way. I mean, he's repulsed by his sadness, but at the same time admiring it. So the Yosen timeout ends, and Murasakibara decides to continue to play. But this time he's tying his long hair, most of it anyway, at the back with a hairband from his coach. things is about to get dicey. But however, also, isn't next week? Was it? Hmm. Well, it's either only two or next week is actually the finale. Do not know, but we'll see, won't we? It was good to see Kagami dominating the arrogant Murasakibara. Himuru's pridefulness is actually a bit sad, but at the same time, sometimes I feel it pathetic. However, I can agree. When you so desperately want something and you cannot have it, I can agree with the feeling. You feel so empty and you feel so angerful against people who are more gifted to you that you can't stand it. So, I can feel for Himuro in that way. That's basically this episode. We'll soon be reaching the finale. Who will win?